What's up, everybody? Old Man Winter 8, and today I'm going to be taking my first steps in the 25-26 Ride Fuse boots. So I'm excited about these things. They're a little bit on the stiffer side, which I usually do ride, kind of medium boots to medium soft boots. But I'm definitely not opposed to having something that's a little bit quicker on my feet, especially if I'm going to be testing out some new boards. And some of these boards today are a little bit stiffer boards in general, and even some of those softer boards is just going to make them feel a little bit quicker. But a lot of cool features on the Ride boots. One, super slim profile. Ride is always known for having a nice slim down boot, not putting a bunch of extra stuff that they don't need in there. And then it is a traditional lace with a boa that goes not only through the tongue to help pull your heel down, but then there's an extra piece that kind of wraps up just above your ankle to help crank you in too. So you get all the customization of that standard lacing, but then you get that extra hold down from the boa system. And then articulated cuff, we got that Michelin outsole, which is super grippy, and nice durable toe on this thing. But this is definitely a classic boot that they have had in their lineup for a long time. And they do some little tweaks on it here and there, but it really is one of those boots that's kind of perfect, and they really don't need to mess with it too much from year to year. So enough talking about these things. Let's go ahead and get them on my feet and see how they feel right out of the box. I had them set at 10.5. I'm usually at 10.5 in Ride boots. Anything I've had in the past and tried out in the past, always been at 10.5. We know that they are the right size because my toe is touching right up in the front, and I actually feel like I've got a little bit of room on top of my toe too. So that's not a bad thing, because I know the boot is going to fit tightest everywhere else, but a little bit of wiggle room is never a bad thing. And then obviously with that lacing system, I can kind of leave the bottom just kind of standard. I don't like to crank that one down, but I do like to pull the ankle and then kind of do a moderate pull at the top. And that's one of the big things that I love about a regular lace boot, is that you get that option to have those 3 different lacing zones. And then with the boa system on this thing, we can really crank this thing down at, oh man, yeah. I can really feel that thing locking on my ankle and around the shin. And honestly, I was a little bit worried it might change a little bit once we get out and ride, about having the boa doing the ankle and across the shin. I thought the ankle would be a little bit too tight, because I do like to have it a little bit looser up top, but that might be something where it doesn't bother me when I'm riding. Or I can just loosen up the laces a little bit up top to have that little bit easier feel. But definitely with that slime tongue and that back stay up the back, this does have a little bit stiffer feel, and it's going to be a real quick reaction from toe to heel. So I am excited to get these things out, get out and ride. We're going to test out some new boards and obviously test out these boots and see how they feel right out of the box. All right, just got done taking my first steps in the Ride Fuse boots, and I am super pumped on these boots. The fit on them is fantastic. That fit up in the toe, again, I'm at 10.5. These are 10.5, so they fit perfectly. My toes touching right up in the front, but I did have that little bit of room to wiggle my toes around. And then obviously while I was riding, that wasn't an issue at all. But I was really impressed with the stiffness on these things. When I first put them on, I was like, these are going to be a little bit stiff. I knew that was going to be a thing. I thought I was going to ride a couple different boards today, but it was pretty icy and hard, so I pretty much just rode a free ride board all day long. So the boots actually did match up really well with that. They were very, very responsive from toe to heel, being a little bit more of a mid-stiff flex with that sturdier tongue and that piece up the back. But I'll have to say that just the feel overall by the end of the day, I probably wouldn't pick these to be my everyday boot, but I wouldn't be bummed if these were my everyday boot. It's something where with a standard lace boot, you can lace that ankle, lace the lower, lace the upper part. We could even loosen up that top part and make it feel a little bit softer and have a little bit of give when you want it to have a little bit of give, but still lock your foot in. And then another thing I was pleasantly surprised with was that BOA system. So having the piece that goes around the front of your shin, because this thing doesn't have any internal lacing. So that's basically what's cranking you in. You have that strap going right above your ankle, and then you have the lacing going through the tongue right at your ankle. So when you crank it, it is cranking two different positions. And I thought for sure that as I was cranking them down, the one on the top of my ankle was going to be too tight once I got my ankle cranked down. And honestly, it was pretty uniform and it wasn't an issue. I didn't have to touch the BOAs at all day long. So great fit, great feel. I'm definitely gonna ride these things a little bit more. I definitely wanna try them out on some of the little bit softer boards just to kind of get that feel as, you know, just like a true all mountain style boot. But I'll have to say that I am super impressed with these things after taking my first steps.